Hey guys, so I just wanted to touch on a topic really quick. Um, Toxic masculinity and, uh, you know, what what being equal looks like between men versus women. Um, First of all, with toxic masculinity, um, the zoomed out perspective is all roles that's being played. It's part of the illusion. It's indulging in duality, chaos, separation, which none of that's real. On a lower layer, within judgment and within the illusion, um, this is a real problem that's been going on for way too long. I just saw a post, it's supposed to be a joke, about there's more men filled with basically the GAB stuff, um, more than that they're filled with that, more men are filled with that than testosterone these days. And I spoke up, and I'm working on not commenting on other people's posts, but there's still moments where I really feel stronger to speak up. And I don't sit there and try and say you're wrong or anything like that, but it's just I just mentioning the zoomed out truth. And I did, I did comment on that saying, oof, this is toxic masculinity, and there's a lot of hard work being done on healing this. And I recognize that this is supposed to be a joke, but the truth of the matter is, on that lower layer, this stuff is a problem, and we need to not be joking about it anymore. This needs to stop, and we need to talk about it. And they just basically rolled their eyes at me, which is fine. But then I just really got the urge to turn the camera on and talk about this, because the thing is again, we're talking on a lower layer of judgment where we're healing and fixing things. It's already zoomed out, already fixed, already healed. None of it's real. All roles being played, absolutely. But zooming back down, this is a real problem, and it needs to stop. This has been going on way too long. I don't care if it's supposed to be a joke. It's not funny. There's a real problem with toxic masculinity and men being told that they're not manly enough due to this, and this. Stop. Stop. Us women have not liked being treated certain ways. Men don't like being treated certain ways either. Why do you think that there's been big problems with stuff when it comes to, I want to be careful with my words. One of the problems when it comes to things like sexual assault and whatnot is because men having to repress their natural urges, how they naturally feel. The fact that they can run a bit more sexual, which it's because the penis is healing. It's almost like an entity on its own, and it has healing energies. It's healing. And then on top of it, they absolutely feel things like sadness, love, joy, anxiety, stress. Men cry. They have emotions. But what are they told? Don't be a girl, suck it up, don't be a pussy. Men don't cry. Don't be a girl, don't cry. Be a man. Men want to be held. Men love receiving flowers. The male collective has been in a lot of pain, just like the female collective. I have been gifted feeling the pain of the male collective, and it has made me sob. I'm feeling it a bit right now. It's making me want to cry. This toxic masculinity needs to stop. In fact, actually, hang on a second. So the post says, there are more men out there today with more, I don't want to say the word because of YouTube restricting stuff or whatever, but it has to do with the past 2 years, with more of that in them than testosterone. This is what I said. Oof, let's not work on going after men and their masculinity. Whether this is making fun of the jab or not, men have been beaten down with toxic masculinity, and on a zoomed out perspective, it's all roles being played within an illusion. On the lower layer, this is hard work many are doing, lots of healing and growing. It's time to start embracing men for not only the more masculine traits, but also their more sensitive side. Men cry, men want to be held, men enjoy being given flowers. Love and embrace everyone for who and what they are. That includes everyone who did or did not get the vaccine, which are all upgrades. I'm trying not to say those words, and now I've said them, whatever. Which are all upgrades, by the way. This thing that's been going on the past 2 years is literally ascension and ascension symptoms. And those things that we've been getting, that people have been playing with fear with, are literal upgrades. And I said, anyway, I just felt I really needed to speak up on behalf of men. This stuff needs to stop and start being recalibrated. No more judgment. We are better than this. And I gave 3 hugs. And they responded with a meme of a dog with a stupid looking face saying, when you joke about a serious issue, and somebody writes a full paragraph in the comments. And I just responded saying, dude, I even acknowledge it's probably a joke, but there is truth in what I said. I still stand by what I said. On this layer of judgment and illusion, these jokes aren't funny and they need to be talked about. And I did, this is a case where I did unfriend this person, only because when I checked out their profile, and it was a lot of stuff where I know I'm going to get the urge to speak up on their posts, and I don't want to keep doing that. Not to them. That's not the point of why I'm here. And I'm working on not going on people's posts and saying things, speaking truths on my end and just letting everyone else be, but I'm still working on it. So now you guys know exactly what I saw and what I said, and I stick with what I said. It's on one level, absolutely. If we zoom out, we can laugh at it, laugh and joke about it. Absolutely, we can laugh at that joke. But on this one layer where we are working on healing things, I don't find it funny because I felt the pain of the men and it hurts. Again, the pain is illusion. Pain is illusion. It's a tool that we've used in order to survive. But we don't need that anymore. So again, I recognize that there is that zoomed out layer, but just talking on this lower layer, this is important stuff, and it needs to the making fun of men and how not masculine they are because of whatever reason. That needs to stop, because not only is it hurting the men, but it ends up hurting the women too, because the men are so much in pain and then they take it out on us. It's a big vicious cycle. So let's stop judging. Let's stop joking around about this stuff. And when you see something like that, or you have that thought, just stop for a minute and breathe and go inside and say, what's this really saying about me and my perception? Because at the end of the day, again, we're all mirrors of each other, and everything that you're seeing is a reflection of you and your own shit, whether it's good, bad, or anything in between. Again, zooming out, there is no good or bad, right or wrong. It is what it is. And it's all just beautiful roles being played, and everything works out beautifully, and it's all within love. Absolutely. But zooming back in, down on that more dense layer, it's not funny. It never was, and it's still not. And then I have been seeing this, it's starting to go around again, how there's not equality between men and women because there's differences. I just want to clear up something about that. There are differences between men and women, and we need to embrace them. But that doesn't mean that men and women are not equal. We are all equal. Everyone is equal. It doesn't matter what gender you are, man, woman, or anything in between. It doesn't matter what gender you are. It doesn't matter what job you have. It doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter where you live. It doesn't matter your sexual orientation. It doesn't matter what beliefs you have. None of that matters. We are all equal. We are all equal. There is no hierarchy. If you're saying something is not equal, then you're going into hierarchy. What the message that's trying to get across, and this is where better words need to come in, and this is, I need to work on my words with stuff. So I'm not judging, but I'm just saying this is where better words need to come in. It's not the fact of it's not being equal. It's the fact that there's differences between men and women. Now, everyone has both masculine and feminine energy within them, and all energy isn't male or female. In our pure energy form, we're not necessarily male or female. We have both, but we do resonate and present more as one or the other. I know for myself, I definitely resonate with being female more often than male. I have incarnated as male, but I definitely am more female. Whereas Eric admits he loves being a dude. He has, there's a life that we had where he was my mom. Ding. Thank you. And I was given visual and I can see it, feel it. I could feel it when I was giving the visual of him sitting there braiding my hair and two braids going back. I could feel him braiding my hair down my back. So we play all these roles, but we do also have preferences as to what we prefer to present as and incarnate as male versus female. So that being said, we're all equal, but there are differences. You know, men really do have this type of strength that women have. Women have their own strength that is unbelievable, but men have their own strength that's also unbelievable, and it's different than women, and women's strength is different than men, but it doesn't mean that either is better than the other. It just means it's different, and it's beautiful because these differences are two equal halves and you put them together and it makes it one perfect piece. It's so beautiful. So embrace the differences. It doesn't mean we're not equal. It just means that there's certain things about men that men have and there's certain things about women that women have, and then you bring it together and it makes it perfect and it's beautiful. And then if we could get into like non-binary and all that, but that's going into, I'm double checking with Eric. Yeah, Eric has mentioned before, and he's saying it now again. He's basically highlighting for me. I'm not really hearing him, but I can feel what he's wanting to say and project is that um is that those who are like non-binary and transgendered and whatever, they are actually they're more advanced beings, because again, we're not male or female, we're both. We just have one that's a bit stronger than the other. So there is that whole topic, but just speaking on male versus female, because that's a whole other topic, and that's like they're more beyond their more advanced type beings type stuff. So that's a whole other conversation. So just focusing on male versus female, yes, there's differences, but the differences are equal. It's not that one's better than the other. This whole no, they're not equal. That needs to stop. Like needs to, needs to. Not that it needs to, but you know what I mean. It's people. We need to start realizing, and it is. But when you're seeing this stuff, taking a stop and breathing and just really seeing what it's saying and really taking it in, and then really stopping to zoom out and see the bigger picture. So, and again, that includes even with the stuff that I was talking about, the toxic masculinity, stopping and breathing and zooming out and seeing the bigger picture, which is why I also, as much as I'm talking about this stuff needs to stop and it's not funny and we need to work on healing and, all of that at the same time, that's why I'm also mentioning the zoomed out picture. Because again, ding, exactly. Thank you, Eric. It's not real. It's all part of the illusion. It's all roles that's being played. It's all happening for big, beautiful, good reason, and we're not to judge. I just really wanted to speak on that other layer though, just for a few minutes, just because this is something that I feel like needs to be said. Again, I'm not sitting here saying I'm a master and I know all or anything like that. I'm not trying to tell anyone what to do or what to think. I know I needed to talk about this. I know I really wanted to share what I had said with this post. Just to, again, show you guys kind of even just where I'm at when it comes to speaking publicly when I see what other people are saying. I don't want to hide anything about myself. I'm not perfect. And I admit, with that post, I probably should have just sat back and not said anything. And if I felt like saying anything, doing a post on my own, just speaking about the topic. But I'm still working on it. I'm not perfect. I'm still working on it. And I did speak up, and I'm sharing it now here, and I'm admitting it. So, to that person, I did unfriend them, but I am also saying thank you to them. I probably should have said it personally, one-on-one through the comments, and I usually am good with that, but sometimes I forget. So I should have in there. I don't have the ability to comment anymore, on her thing, but if she happens to come across and see this, I am saying thank you to her, because it's a role that she played, and part of that's a reflection of me too. I have my shit still with men, and that's a part of my shit with men being reflected at me. I'm not perfect. I got my shit too, and I'm working on it. So, yeah, we're all equal. We all have our own differences, but again, those differences are part of the illusion. we're all equal. We're all connected in a oneness. We all have male, female energy. And zooming in on a lower layer, we need to work on making fun of men about their masculinity. On a zoomed out layer, we need to remember it's part of the illusion, and everything, all roles are being played beautifully, and we need to just embrace and love everyone for who and what they are. So and remember everyone's their higher selves, and just letting their higher selves come online. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about that for now. We might address it again at some point, but I think that kind of gets the point across. So yeah, anyway, thank you guys all for listening. I appreciate every single one of you more than I can say. I love you all very much, and as always, have a wonderful now.